All right, you feather merchants. This story is actually a Marine Corps story, and we were in the Philippines. We're playing war games out there in the jungle, getting ready for Vietnam, and they let us go back on the ship, and they were going to give us R&R in Hong Kong. So we're on the ship, and actually the name of the ship, it was the USS Montrose. It was an APA, not exactly a luxury liner. The Navy back then, they ran a water taxi service for the Marine Corps. But their accommodations, ooh, they wouldn't even get a 1-star rating. The compartment I was in, I believe there was about 250 racks in there. By a rack, I mean that's what you sleep on. And they were 6 high, and it was just a canvas. You didn't have a mattress or anything like that. You had bed bugs though. But anyway, it was just a mattress, and on that mattress, they'd have you had a sea bag, your rifle, your backpack with blanket roll on it, um, Mae West life jacket, and gee, there seems like there was someone else. But anyway, they wanted us. Actually, they told us they don't want any of this gear hanging from any place. They don't want it on the deck. They want it in the rack with you. So, like I said, the racks were 6 high, and so that's how we slept. Um, anyway, and like I said, it was there was 250 racks, so that meant there were 250 Marines down there in that compartment. It's more like a hole. But anyway, we're on the way to Hong Kong, and make a long story short, I kind of got in trouble, and I'm on restriction now. I can't go. I cannot go on liberty in Hong Kong. So we pull into Hong Kong harbor, and back then, when you went up topside, you saw a lot of sampans, and it's interesting. Of course, a lot of ships, naval ships there, and at the time, I had a really good lieutenant, Lieutenant Elbrick, and he passed away unfortunately. But Lieutenant Elbrick, his father had been an ambassador during World War II, and he can be seen in several of those World War II newsreels. And Lieutenant Elbrick, like I say, is a very nice person, good heart, and he came down to the hole where I was at, and he said, "Look," he said. You can't get off the ship, but he said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sneak you off the ship. And, but you got to promise you're going to be on your best behavior, you know? And I said, okay, I'll do that. And so he told me what time to be ready. And so I showered, got my uniform on because we were on a ship. You had to leave the ship in uniform. And so he had another lieutenant with him. This is very unusual. He just didn't do that back then, but he did. And the other lieutenant, he had, I think he said he had been a football player. He was good shape, real. You can see he's in real good shape. Anyway, the three of us, he sneaks me off the ship, and we take a landing craft to the shore, and they had rickshaws back then, and they were all lined up. And what I did is I'd been there. I had a little more experience overseas than he did, and I told him, I said, I'll talk to these guys. So I talked to these two rickshaw drivers, and back then the rickshaws, they weren't bicycles. They these guys would run. They would carry you on their rickshaw, right? And so I negotiated the price for two rickshaws, three of us. Myself and Lieutenant Elbrick was in one. The other lieutenant was in the other one. And I made it real clear how much money it was going to be to go to wherever we were going. And I can't remember the location at the time, but they both agreed it was a certain amount of Hong Kong dollars. And, like 7 Hong Kong dollars is in my head, but I don't know if that was the price for sure. So anyway, we get in these rickshaws, and from the waist up, these guys are they're pretty thin, but from the waist down, they look like linebackers, right? And, oh, strong legs. So anyway, it took a while going up and down hills in Hong Kong to get to where we were going. So we get there, and I go to pay him, and he doubled the price. And I thought, you little rice eater, you. I can't believe that. And I said, no. I said, we agreed on a price. And he says, no. So we get in an argument. And now we attract the other rickshaw drivers. Now they're surrounding us, right? And now, because they're yelling at us, and we're yelling back, or at least I'm yelling back, crowd of people got around us. I mean, the streets were really crowded back then. And I told the rickshaw driver, I said, I'll tell you what, we'll go in the alley and settle it. I want to beat this guy silly. And he said, yeah, we go alley. And all his buddies, that got him excited. They thought, this is going to be good. So they all said, yeah, we go alley. And right away I thought, well, I'm going to give this a second thought, and the lieutenant, he's getting nervous because we have a problem with the Hong Kong police. Eventually they're going to find out that he snuck me off the ship. And he said, pay him. So I took the money, what he wanted, double what he wanted, and I threw it in the street. And they died for it. I mean, they're yelling. I have no idea what they're saying. They're speaking in Chinese. But anyway, after that, actually the lieutenant that was with Lieutenant Elbrick, he wanted to fight him. He thought that was a good idea. And I thought, boy, I bet this guy can fight. He was a big dude, and he looked like he could handle himself. But we just gave him the money and let it go at that. And then the second time that I went to Hong Kong on R&R, this was the following year. This particular year that I went there was in 1962. And in 1963, I go back. And we're on R&R. And this time I didn't get in trouble. So I got off the ship with two buddies of mine. And we catch the boat to the dock. And now I know about these rickshaw drivers. And I told them, I made it real clear, how much money they were gonna charge us, and we wanted to go to Kowloon. And I told my buddies, I said, these guys try to cheat us, we'll fuck them up, And so anyway, these guys, they take us to Kowloon. That was a real nice district back then, and they were honest. They stuck to the agreed amount, and we paid them. So anyway, we see this pub, and it was the Waltzing Matilda pub. It was like a British-style pub, and we walked in there, and we were greeted by this lady, Chinese lady, and she went by the name Hot Pants Molly Malone. And Hot Pants Molly Malone was 60 years old at the time. She'd been a hooker for a long time, and I don't know if she owned the bar or she ran it, but she was really a nice lady, really entertaining, funny, and we were all like 19 years old, and so she was older than all three of us put together, and she told us, she said she wanted to spend the night with us, the three of us, and I said, you know, Hot Pants, I said, I really appreciate that offer, but we can't do that. And so that was off the table. But anyway, she gave us each a souvenir, and it was a paper with her signature and her lipstick mark on it, and it was about the Waltzing Matilda Inn. And I thought, wow, what an incredible experience that was. And in later years, I got to know some merchant seamen, and they all knew Hot Pants Molly Malone. I never ran into any Navy sailors that had run into her, but these guys, they weren't, I don't know, I never looked at them as being very adventurous, you know. So anyway, that's my story. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You feather merchants.